Hi there. This is Jean Roman with For Dragonflies and Me. Thanks so much for joining me at this week's podcast. As always, I'm super excited to be here sharing gardening, cooking, organizational tips and tricks, and of course, having conversations with incredible entrepreneurs. As always, I love to share my connection and how I met my guest with all of you. So here we go. Well, I had the pleasure of meeting this incredibly talented woman at a LeadHER-ship conference last fall. To say the least, I was so inspired by her story. She was a biology high school teacher, which right then and there, I was like super impressed. I thought, oh, wow, this lady is super smart. I personally am not a science or math person. I am a creator, imaginative writer, and come to find out, so is she. And then during this conversation in her presentation, she goes on to tell us that she had twins and decided to start her own company. Yes, ladies and gents, this lady is more than just smart. She is an inspiration to all entrepreneurs, but especially women. Now that I have you all really excited, let me introduce today's guest. Welcome, Farah Bazzi, founder and creative director of Maraseel Cards.
Well, thank you, Farah. I'm so excited to be here. I appreciate the opportunity, Jean. Thank you.
Oh, it is literally my pleasure, Farah. I'm so excited to chat about how you developed and created your business because I just think it's such a super cool thing. And it really speaks to the person I am. And we're going to get into that later. But first, I do want to say I feel extremely privileged to have you here today. I know how busy you are with your little ones in your business. So thank you again.
Thank you, Jean, and I'm actually super excited to be joining you.
Well, we're going to have a good time. So Farah, let's get rolling. I always like to first have my guests introduce themselves and tell my listeners a little bit about yourself and how you started your business. So why don't you start there?
Well, your story of how you started your business, I guess there's always something different how you say it each time and how you share it with different people. But the one factor that changed everything for all of us within the last few years is COVID, I would say. I was a high school biology teacher, and I loved what I did, and I would say I was the best biology teacher that I ever knew.
Oh,
And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was extremely passionate about it. I went to work like I wasn't working. It was the thing that I enjoyed to do. So that's so much passion, so much love for it. And then, I always say that God had different plans for me. The summer of 2019, I got pregnant with my twins.
oh wow.
And I knew that the following year, when the twins will be coming, I knew that I had to take a leave. And it happened that right when I delivered my kids, which is March of 2020,
Oh my gosh.
whole world collapsed.
Yeah,
Right.
everything just shut down.
Right, exactly. I actually had the twins on March 3rd, and state of Michigan closed everything down March 10th. So within 7 days, nobody was able to come to my house. Nobody was able to visit me. It was a mess.
Oh, and I know after you have a baby, there's so much emotion that goes on. And that's the time, if anything, you want your friends and your family and your loved ones to be around you.
Absolutely. And imagine having twins. And
Yes, you need
it's not
help.
right. You need help, and you've already been sleep deprived. I had complications with the pregnancy and the delivery. It was really hard. I was, least to say, I was just floating and surviving for that very first year, but it just really pulled the, I would say, the strongest beast out of me,
Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way, right?
Absolutely. And you don't have a choice because
Right.
it's you and those little babies. And if it was just you, you'd feel like, okay, whatever, I could, just sleep for a week and shut down, but you can't. You're waking up 1 to 2 hours every night, and you're continuously delivering and continuously functioning, and you're not really processing everything. It wasn't until a year later, when things kind of started to get into a routine and an order, when the twins turned one, that I was like, okay, it's been a year and I don't even know how this year passed.
Yeah,
I
time
really
flies.
Right. And still, I can't go back to my teaching job because, they're putting twins at that age and daycare. That's my whole teaching salary, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case, but that's what happened. So I kind of had to figure something out, and I wasn't really ready to, open up a business or anything like that. But I knew that I had a love for crafting and for
Hmm.
making cards and just for making other people feel better. So, at that time, I started my business, and it started as a greeting card business, just something for our culture and our community. And
Hmm.
today it expanded to a luxury stationery, um, I would say established business with that includes pre-designed custom cards, wedding invitations, business stationery, and so much going on. So like I am so grateful and super excited. I don't want to say for COVID, but just for the series of events that happened in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you say you don't want to say because of COVID, there was a lot of sadness and loss during that time and
Right.
continues to be, unfortunately. But there were some positive things that came out of it. And I've always been the type of person to believe, in the worst of times, the worst circumstances, the worst things that can happen to you in your life, you do have the option to use it as a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block and grow from it. And that's what you did. And again, just amazing what you have been able to accomplish with such a busy life and pivoting your whole life, really. And again, what an inspiration. So with all that being said, Farah, share with my audience what inspired you to start Maraseel Cards. You talked a little bit about the COVID and where it started, but what was the heart of your inspiration in doing this business?
Right. So you were speaking about inspiration and all of that, and about you also mentioned how it's really hard and tough for a woman to be able to kind of multitask and do all of these things as a mom,
Mm-hmm.
as a business owner, and all of this. Before I get to the story of why I started that, I really want to share that sometimes the things that we do that just make us feel better are just the right things for our heart. So when I would, go into my basement and, design some of my cards and craft some of them, it was just my kind of therapy at that time. I needed that alone time and I needed that reflection time, and I just wanted time by myself, right? And so in the beginning, that's how it started. And then maybe a couple weeks into it, after I started developing this habit and this time with after I started listening to myself
Mm-hmm.
for a longer period of time, I was like, okay, this is actually cool and nice and it makes me feel good. How could I serve others with it? And it was around the same time when Ramadan was starting, and Ramadan is a month of the year where we fast for a whole month. It's a lunar month. We fast for about 28 days, so it's kind of our version of Lent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
we don't stop eating for the whole month. It's from
Yeah, I would say that would be really hard fasting. I've fasted a few times in my life and for medical reasons, and it is not fun.
Right, right. But it's very similar to intermittent fasting where you got to do the 16 hours, right? So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
from sunrise to sunset. So basically you're not eating or drinking anytime when the sun is out, and as long as it's dark, you eat all night and all of that. And so, Ramadan is a very special time of reflection and spirituality in our faith, and just focus on helping others and feeling the needy, feeling the poor, feeling empathizing with the hungry. And so it's at the end of it, we have this big celebration called Eid, and it's very similar, or it resembles kind of like Easter or Christmas or whatever other big holiday there is.
Right. Yeah.
And right, and I started thinking, well, how come when I go to Target, I can easily get like an Easter card and a Christmas card, but I can't get a Ramadan card? Like there's no
Mm-hmm.
there's no cards that represent me and my girls and my family. And even though like we're a massive population, right?
Yeah, it's your culture, and absolutely.
Yeah, so I said, you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and just complain about it. I'm gonna do something about it. So I
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. That's the go-getter in you, right?
Right, right. So I did, and I started, that cultural greeting card line, and people absolutely loved it. I put things on there that, it's our common cultural language that was on there. People that, looked like us and resembled us. Just you want to feel that form of expression. You want to be
Mhm.
able to gift somebody something that represents you and kind of like your ideas and the things that you care about. And so I felt so privileged with the turnout and with how people accepted that, and just that people were so happy and so excited that finally there's something that is just a form of expression
Yeah,
for
and I
us.
mean, I'm always a think big kind of person, and I don't know, you may have already done this, but I would send some samples to Hallmark. And what's the other greeting card company but there's several of them out there,
Right.
and they might just be waiting for something like that to come through their doors. I mean, I don't know if that's how big you want to get, but I always think, what is the grandest, what is the how big can this be? How small can it be? And where in between those 2 points do I want to be? Where does it fit into my life? And it's just incredible because I've worked in Dearborn for 7 years, and I just recently retired, or not retired, but resigned from the chamber to move forward. And honestly, the conference that we were at with Aisha, with the LeadHER-ship conference, really just moved me with your story, with so many of the other incredible women that I got to meet there. And I just thought, you know what? I can do this. I have a strong social media following. I'm working on this podcast, and I'm going to be creating a YouTube. I've written a cookbook, working on my second cookbook. And it's like inspiration. Yeah. And it's like, I always believe, women in the past, I believe, especially corporate, it's always a stepping and trotting over to climb up that ladder. Where I feel like you and me and other women that we meet who want to be entrepreneurs, who want to start their business, we can be there to support them, a support system, instead of, tearing people down. And it's like your product serves a niche market. And you do have a cultural, I don't want to say responsibility, but love that you want to support that. And I think it's incredible. Farah, I'm a mother of 6, and I understand the work that goes into being a stay-at-home mom and entrepreneur. My ex-husband and I were actually farmers, but that's a story for another day, for 15 years. And shifting from a full-time high school teacher to a stay-at-home mom with twins, no less, is definitely something to get used to. And you were a professional in your field. And like you said, you loved what you were doing. As we like to say in the business world, and I said it previously, we have to pivot when necessary. And you certainly did that, not only during COVID, not only in your profession, but creating a product that serves a culture that is not just in Michigan or Dearborn, but is nationwide. And I think it's incredible. And your product is incredible. And it accommodates all types of businesses, styles, and any event, which leads me into my next question. Share with my listeners, now that they're super excited, what types of products and services Maraseel Cards offers.
So thank you for the question. Some of the services and products that we offer, we start with the greeting card line. And again, a lot of these greeting cards are pre-made, they're cultural, they have their kind of their own like niche, you said, and identity. And I actually offer something super cool, which is my custom greeting cards. So people can come to me and, they can say, hey, Farah, it's my mother's birthday. And, my mother likes, I don't know, something oranges, and we want to
Yeah.
customize a greeting card around the things that she likes, or around something that's special between me and her. Or I want to put a bunch of pictures together. Can you help me design a greeting card that's just for us together? I've had people that, that were left speechless when they looked at the greeting
Oh,
cards. Yeah, there was actually a father whose daughter is Lebanese. She lives here, and she's working on her PhD here. She sent her dad a greeting card. She created it with me, and she sent it to Lebanon, gave it to him, shipped it with her, and gave it to him there. And when he read it, you could see, she took a video of him, you could see his eyes turning
oh,
watery. It
oh.
it's one of the very few things that I absolutely cherish and adore. And on my roughest days in my business, I just close my eyes and I think about this man and a couple other people
Oh,
that I just have to do this for.
yeah. No, I understand, and that's that personal touch.
Yes.
Um, it just makes all the difference in something, and I just love what you do, and perusing your website and the samples that you show, I was just in awe. I mean, you really have a talent, Farah. And I know there's a lot of people like me that love that one of a kind. So, Dragonfly friends, if you're listening and you're planning a graduation, a birthday party, or any special get together, this is the time to reach out to Farah and have her help you design, work with her to create your one of a kind invitation or program. And also, if you're planning a wedding in the future, seriously, how incredible would it be to have an invitation that was designed just for you and your partner? Oh my gosh. So Farah, like I said, I'm all about one of a kind items, and I love knowing there isn't anyone else who has what I have. So now that everyone listening is super eager to hire you, tell my listeners how they can connect with you and what steps are best to get started.
Okay, so I also wanted to mention, and I'm sorry I got distracted with
Oh,
my
no, please go ahead. That's what I love about this
right
podcast. We're just
emotional
talking.
story. I really like my focus to be on my audience and the clients all the time. That's
Yeah.
how I'm wired. But I also wanted to mention to your audience and the wonderful people listening that yes, I do wedding invitations and save the dates, all the wedding stationery.
Mhm.
And it's also customized, so it's also one of a kind for each couple. To me, I am always telling a story in a wedding invitation. And also we've expanded to branded business stationery, where your business cards, let's say, for example, or your business stationery, not only do they share your mission and vision, but also they speak you. So when you pass out your business card, I want you to feel so confident when you're passing out your things that they are representing who you are. So
Well,
so
I,
that's how I feel about the business. Go ahead, Jean. You want to
no, I was going to say, and I can attest to that because I actually have your business card right here in my hand, and it is just beautiful. I was so impressed with it, and I was at another conference, and it was through PTAC, and so it was basically a seminar on how small businesses can connect with the
Mm-hmm.
government to sell their products. It was really cool. And I know Aisha can give more information on that. We kind of talked about that at that seminar we were at. And one of the topics was business cards. And I just want to say, I actually gave an example of what not to do. And that example was as you know, I have managed farmers markets in the past, and I've ran a lot of events. And so I work with like a ton of vendors, and in every field. And I remember this one farmers market vendor who gave me her business card, and it was nice. And she did baked goods, and it had her business name was something pearls, and it had a string of pearls along the business card. And I was like, what does that have to do with baked goods? And I'm a businesswoman, and one thing I always love to do is encourage, like we talked about, other business people, men and women, and to try to give some guidance. I've been doing this a long time. And I suggested to that person, it's like, when I look at your business card, I see jewelry, not baked goods. You might want to rethink that. And Farah, when I saw your business card and samples on your website, they were clearly defined to the business. And I believe that when you're helping people, that is one of the guidance steps that you would provide to them. And so again, you know, Dragonfly listeners, those of you who are listening out there, Farah's product is just incredible. And, you know, I'm all about local. I'm all about supporting small business entrepreneurs. And, you know, if you're in and around the Michigan area, all the better. But even if you're out in California or Maine, Farah can help you and she can work with you. And she has a super incredible product. There's nothing cheap in the product that she is providing you. It is incredible. So Farah, you know, I'm really throwing it out there for you because I really believe in your product. I just think you're incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. And you know what? This also speaks very highly of you when you're advocating for other women business owners. It just,
thank you.
It speaks volumes as to the level of confidence that you have and your ability to uplift others. You know, I truly think that people like you know, you may be, to you, this might end right here and there, but you never know. This might mean a new chapter in somebody else's business. So
Absolutely.
I truly appreciate that. And to all the listeners, you know, I would love to hop on a call with you, get to know you, just, you know, connect with you, have relationship with you. That's really how I work with all of my clients. You know, once you're my client, you're my friend forever. So
and you know, that's small business, right? And that is getting to know, you know, I used to always say when my ex-husband and I used to have a farm, it was like, know your farmer, know the person who's growing your food. Well, you know what? Know your stationery creator, your business card creator, you know, be that person. But I wanted to ask you, I got a couple more questions I want to throw out there. And Farah, I'd like your opinion. You know, why do you think it's important that business owners invest in luxury stationery, business cards, you know, during a time of recession or at any time?
Right. So, I mean, right now it's very difficult for all of, you know, business owners and especially small business owners to kind of step forward and, you know, do that extra spending or, you know, invest in things that they might think that they can be put on hold. You know, we're at a time and place where we're thinking, you know, we don't know where we're headed, and this might be a recession. The money may get tight, et cetera, et cetera. But this is how everybody else is thinking. And if you're gonna keep on, you know, pressing the brakes and holding off, then you're just exactly where everybody else is. But the way you should think about it is, this is your opportunity to stand out. Since everybody is taking a break, and since everybody is holding back, since everybody is living in this fear, it's your time to be brave and step forward. And the only way for you to step forward is to stand out.
Absolutely.
You would stand out with your personality, with what you add to your business, with you expressing yourself, with you sharing with others. What are you going to offer that is different? And I truly believe that, you know, business image, whether it's a digital image or you know, a paper image or stationery or whatever it is, your image will do 75% of the speaking for you. It will introduce you to people.
I agree 100%. 100%, Farah.
Right. And then you're going to take care of the rest of the 25%. But if you don't get the 75%, you're losing 75% of the people. Who are looking at you from a far distance. I mean, right now, what do we all do? We want anything that we want. The first thing we do, we go and we look that up, we Google that. We look at the reviews, right? And we read a couple of reviews that we're happy about. Okay, boom, we grab our phone and we make a phone call, or, you know, we go and we visit that store, et cetera, et cetera. But if you don't have those reviews, and if you don't have that online presence and that one-on-one presence, then what's going to make you stand out?
Exactly.
You want to stay behind? Sure, you can stay behind, and we'll see you 5 years later. And the people like me and like Jean and like others who are gonna put themselves out there, and you know, I really want to make it clear that we're not taking any risk when we're investing in our business.
No, because you know the saying, Farah, you have to spend money to make money. Absolutely. And like you said, that business card is, it may be the first impression a potential client or a podcast guest gets when you hand it to them. And I agree with you. If you have something that stands out, they're going to remember you.
They'll remember you. And if it's something that you put, you know, you've actually spent money on, you've put, you know, like you can easily get, let's say, you know, 500 business cards for $50 that people are going to hold. And the moment you know, you move away from them, they're going to throw away. But if you give them something that is that they know that you put effort and energy into, and that has those little extra touches, nobody has the heart to throw that. Jean has my cards.
I do. I do. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, it is just
nice,
stunning.
right? It feels nice. You know that this is something, you know, you're surrounded by beauty. For you to create beauty in the universe, you want to surround yourself by beauty as well. I truly believe in that.
Absolutely. And, that kind of goes on to my last question, which is about being an entrepreneur and a mom, both at the same time. Do you feel that being a mom of three puts you at a disadvantage in the workforce?
You know, I kind of felt that in the beginning when I had to put my teaching job on hold. And, you know, I had so much resentment because I felt, you know, like, how is this my fault? What am I supposed to do?
Why do I have to give up my passion?
My passion, my teacher. This is just like, I was just so confused. And then when I allowed the ideas to simmer and I allowed myself to explore different waters, I knew that, you know, I haven't even explored my greatness yet. I knew that I was just meant for bigger and greater things. And you'll never know that unless you go into the scariest things that you want to go into, and you start getting, you know, going all out and trying your best. So if it wasn't for my motherhood, and if it wasn't for the girls, if it wasn't for the twins, to be honest, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I would have been teaching at Fort High School biology, and I wouldn't be having fun and all of that. But you guys have no idea the level of potential and how the universe has just opened its doors to me in a way that I would have never imagined.
That is exactly what I was about to say. And exactly. The universe does not bring things into our life that is not pre-planned. And it's like when we allow ourselves to grow with that and go in that direction. I mean, seriously, look at what you've accomplished. It is just incredible. And it's like what I said, as I resigned from my job at the chamber, it was like, I have a foot on both sides of the fence, and I have to take that leap of faith and trust that I can grow this. I can do this. And it kind of goes to like what that one young lady was, the gal in the pink furry scarf. She was so incredible, where she had us all read the mantra and everything. And I was telling my intern that was with me that day, I was like, we all have to have that mantra. We all have to look at ourselves in the mirror every morning and say, I am strong enough. I am able to accomplish this. I can do great things. I can do whatever I want with as much effort as I put into it, and believe it. Tell yourself that every day. Believe in yourself, because it takes that first step in believing in yourself so that you can take that big step, that leap of faith into creating your business. And every time I'm having a conversation with an entrepreneur like you that tells this incredible story of, I was doing this, I was in, corporate America, I was teaching, I was doing a daycare teacher, whatever. And you know what? I took that leap of faith, and I'm so happy I did. I've been so successful. And by no means, Farah, and I know you can attest to this, it's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. It's hard work. But when you're true to yourself and you're true to your business and what you want to do, it will happen. You will accomplish it. And I believe the universe will bring you into situations to meet people like you and I did. I mean, think about it. Here we are. And I wasn't even supposed to be there that day. Remember? My boss was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
I agree with you. I don't think anything is a coincidence.
No.
I think that just we kind of have to be patient and allow, things to happen, and allow that positive energy to kind of flow into your life. And I really want to share with your audience just the biggest breakthrough of my life. I was like the best employee all of my life.
Aw.
And I thought that I was going to be an employee for the rest of my life, because, you know, I just wanted to focus on my role and be very like faithful and fulfilling at it. And I didn't want to stress about the extra things that would come with a business. But you guys, entrepreneurship is such a beautiful thing, because you really can't blame anything that goes wrong on anyone anymore.
That's
But
right.
yourself, right?
It's on you.
It's all on you. And the beauty of this is that not only is the you know, the slow progression, let's say, is on you, but also you are completely in charge and completely in control of how far you go.
Yep.
It is only up to you. And, you know, and somebody might say, no, some people are more privileged than others. I am here. I am a woman who's 5'1", who wears a scarf, whose you know, identity is right on her face.
Yep.
I am telling you that I truly believe that if I just work hard enough and, you know, use the right resources and resort to coaches and listen to results and take data and all of that, and just follow the process and take my time, one day I might be in a place where I would have never ever dreamed of, only because of the opportunity of entrepreneurship.
Yep. Yep.
And if
I
I
agree.
stay an employee, I will continue to be in that classroom for the rest of my life.
Yep. Wondering and dreaming what could have been. And
Exactly.
on that note, I just want to say again, Farah, thank you so much. I have just enjoyed our conversation today so deeply. And, you know, like I said, you inspired me at that seminar, and you continue to inspire me. And I hope we can be friends and, you know, keep in touch. And oh my gosh, right? And, you know, but I want to share right now, if my listeners, Dragonfly friends, to learn more about Maraseel Cards, you can go to my blog and my guest website at maraseelcards.com. Thanks for joining me today. And thank you, Farah, for sharing your story and incredible product with all my listeners. Please follow me here and at my blog at www.fordragonfliesandme.com. And if you have not visited me on Facebook, please like and follow me there for daily inspiration, recipes, and gorgeous photos. Until then, happy day, friends.